Hey, gorgeous Capricorn. Welcome to June 2019, to the counterpart point in the year to your birthday season. We are leading into Cancer season, into a time of profound shift and change, into a recalibrating point. And I think for Capricorns, the more I think about what specifically this year, this June, is bringing about compared to other years, it's really cool. Mostly because right now, the moon nodes and what's going on in your sign. So we have, the north node of the moon in Cancer, your oppositional sign, and the south node in your sign. And as you, I'm sure, are very well aware, you also have Saturn and Pluto working with you in your sign right now. And that's been a really big journey. The Pluto journey has been huge for Capricorns, but so has the Saturn journey over the last little while here. And in concert with the fact that the South Node is also working through their way, like one of the things, Capricorn, what you're doing right now is you're working through some deeper, heavier sides of yourself, and you're figuring out how to forgive yourself and give yourself that love and to nurture yourself and to find moments of grace. And so some of you have been noticing that stuff's been coming up because of the way that the energy is working with you. Now, with that North Node in Cancer, June, we start in Gemini season, but then the sun and the planets start to filter right over into Cancer. And so you are getting into what I call mirror season, where you start to really get to see yourself. Now, you're the other sign that kicks off the solstice on the other half of the year. So when we have these solstice points, it's a great recalibrator. This is a great check-in point, middle of the year. Where have you come from? I think a lot of us, when you start a new year in January, what have you, you think, this is what I'm going to accomplish this year. This is the way that the year is going to play out. And then, of course, in the intervening months, the bigger process has some different surprises and elements to work with for you. And so June is a great time to check in, to recalibrate as our tilt and our conversation with the sun changes gears a little bit. It's a fantastic time to do so. So I have a note for you guys with that in mind, this whole idea of recalibration, especially with the hard work that you guys are putting in right now when it comes to your soul and to your healing. Because you are one of the signs right now that is doing some really deep investigation and some really deep reconnective healing, and it's amazing, and I think you guys are doing an amazing job of it, of owning it. However, it's good to acknowledge that process is not in the seeking of perfection, right? So it's okay to trust that you can still move forward. You're not meant to spend the rest of this time with all this energy in your sign feeling like you're getting punished or whipped, or like if you're still healing that nothing can move forward. Page of Wands. Speaking of moving forward, Page of Wands is such playful energy. In fact, the fact that you're taking the time and you're checking in and you're noticing that this stuff is coming up and you're noticing that you are shifting the way you're moving through the world means that you are moving forward. Your healing itself is moving forward. It's not about standing still. Whoa, 3 cards wanted to come out. 4 cards wanted to come out. Let's see what they are. Hierophant, fellow earth sign, right? Uranus and Taurus, we're getting used to that energy. 2 of Wands. Ooh, we've got some manifestation energy. 2 of Pentacles. 7 of Swords. Okay. The first thing I'm thinking of is you guys already know. You can trust yourselves, right? There are things you want. There are things you want to experience. There are things you are curious about. There are things that you feel like you've been preparing for a long time. And I think some of you feel like you still have to hold yourself back and wait till the timing is right. Hermit, healer, ultimate healer. You're getting all the earth healers in here. Hierophant and Hermit are fantastic for energizing, calibrating, using the root system that you have so deeply entrenched with your natural way of being. Born into this world with Capricorn energy in your chart means you have a natural penchant to know where your feet are on the ground, which gives you an advantage because unlike somebody like me who has a lot of fire and a lot of like Sagittarian energy and Leo energy where it's like burn, whoa, free form, when we expand we can feel a little bit unmoored unless we've been practicing it. Whereas with your energy, you have a root system. So when you expand, when you make changes, when you do take those leaps, when you do decide to trust yourselves, you actually have a really great foundation to do so in a way that does not harm you and that actually helps and bolsters you. So you have a huge advantage. Four of Cups. So this is what I'm noticing. You are getting prepared for some really big new opportunities and some really happy moments this month. And I think you're a little resistant to what that's going to look like. Page of Swords. All right. I'm going to pull one more. Queen of Pentacles. Oh, yeah. Ooh, bottom of the deck was Two of Cups. All right. Like it. Just thought I'd throw that in there. So, yes, there is a preparation energy. There is this sense of you taking some time to check in with your process and what that looks like. Absolutely. But there's also this calling going on, right? There's something calling you forward and saying it's time. It's time to break that ground into that new territory. And there isn't going to be a right day, right? There's not going to be a day where the circumstances are just in a way where, okay, now I can do it, right? So one of the things you're going to have to feel within your soul is that in opening a door, in opening yourself up to what is next, there won't be some magical day where it's like, aha. I mean, you'll have to just feel it in yourself, but you're also going to have to realize that you're going to feel nervous and scared no matter how perfect the day is, and that it's okay. And also that, this whole idea of you being fully healed so that you can then take the risk is a myth as well. And that it's really about showing up. So let's talk through these cards. Oh, I didn't even mention the astrology. There's some really just nice soft things going on. We have a new moon in Gemini in your 6th house. Kind of a great time to reassess your health routines, your habits, your rituals. Venus moves into Gemini on the 9th as well. So a lot of energy here in just the day-to-day routines, your root system, how that feels. Is it serving you? How is it serving you? If it's not, where can you tweak it a little bit? Mercury moves into your 7th house, into Cancer on the 4th. And that's going to be a really powerful time for you to kind of check in with yourself. Mars is also in your 7th house in your oppositional sign of Cancer. And so these two energies are going to be lighting up what it means to connect, what it means to see yourself fully, what it means to show up to the table with deep connections. We have a full moon in Sagittarius in your 12th spiritual house. Really big time to check in also with your conversation between your conscious mind and your spiritual self, your hidden self, your secretive self. Really big for that. We also have the solstice, right? The other solstice in the year, moving into Cancer season. That same day, Neptune goes retrograde in Pisces. Great time to take the blinders off, see things for what they really are. We have several months, most of the rest of this year, to have that energy working with us. So those are all the kind of big things that we have going on. There's some stuff going on with Saturn and Neptune as well. On the 18th, actually, of the month, Saturn is going to sextile Neptune. They're going to have a little conversation. So things are happening. But let's look at these cards, right? That's why you're here. So Page of Wands. Here's that opportunity. You can feel that fiery sense that things are happening. Pieces are moving. Answers are coming in. Opportunities are happening. It's time to step in. Not necessarily step up, not necessarily to push yourself harder, but to get the clarity and the answers you've kind of been asking for a while. It's like there, right? And in fact, the first 3 cards of this reading are all about deep manifestation. Page of Wands, Hierophant, and 2 of Wands are all about what it means to manifest what we want in life. There's intentionality in all 3 of these. There's creativity in all 3 of these. And there is a certain steadfast determination that comes with all 3 of these. Now, what I'm kind of noticing with this is a clear vision. It's like you come into June, like I said, knowing what you want, knowing what you've been kind of asking for deep down in your soul for a little while, probably the first half of this year, as you've been kind of learning about yourself and seeing where you get challenged and where you get knocked back and seeing where you feel strong or where you feel you are working on finding peace and balance in your life, you've also noticed that you have been asking consistently for the same thing. Asking consistently for that thing, whether it be a deep, meaningful relationship, whether that be a job promotion, whether that be a move across the country. There's been a big thing that the Capricorn heart has been like, it's been growing and growing, and your hearts are just expanding. And the thing that's beautiful about all three of these cards is that it can be yours. You know, like this energy is meeting you. You're starting to see the results of all that asking and all that sense of longing that has been in your heart for a little while here. It's starting to come up. It's starting to bubble up and be clearer and clearer and clearer. Now, I was just saying at the beginning of this reading that we're getting used to these longer range transits, right? We are now in them. And with that, we're kind of reassessing what it means to be here in this new 7 or 8 year cycle. One of those is Uranus in Taurus, your fellow earth sign. In that fifth heart, creative energy, there's a big revolution going on. You might be noticing you're asking for different things than you were asking for even 6 months ago. And that's because you are focusing on a different aspect of life now. Things have shifted over. And it may feel uncomfortable to ask for things in the way that you're asking for them now with those first 3 cards and the way that they're actually starting to show up, because there's an efficiency with the energy here that is saying, okay, here's your answer. I mean, and these answers are coming in official ways. Like the Hierophant is official energy. The Hierophant is very much like the institution at work for you in between these two very creative, manifestational, fire, movement, action-based energies, right? So there is an official kind of nod in your direction as far as where you want to go. Making something official, getting the green light on that official yes, right? But here's what happens with y'all is you retract in and you shut down. 2 of Pentacles and 7 of Swords came right up after that 2 of Wands. That Hierophant 2 of Wands, which was like, okay, here's your doorway, let's go. Everything in you is slowing down to assess. And that's okay. I don't think that's actually a bad thing. I think in some ways this is really important. When we realize, okay, I've been asking and now it's here and I'm going to be living this, it's a good time to double check. Is it still true for me? Now that I know I can have it. Now that I know that I can live this life that I've been claiming I want, do I really want it? Make sure it feels true for you still, right? You don't want to be signing on dotted lines that feel half-hearted or feel like you're playing a role and feel like you are just doing what you know how to do or what people expect of you. Because I tell you what, you will feel paranoid, you will feel weighed down, you will feel frustrated, you will feel lost, and you will feel like you don't really have a sense of self anymore when we don't listen to our inner beings in the name of what we've been used to doing. Once again, the South Node's working with you, so it's not about doing things the way you've done them for the last several years, right? There's a different calling here, and it will make you feel vulnerable. It'll make you feel a little bit, maybe even a little paranoid, a little nervous. Can you trust yourself? Can you trust your inner guidance? But here's the big question to ask when you have these 2 energies going on, the 2 of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords. It's kind of that fun thing of you ask yourself, does this bring me joy? It's the whole Marie Kondo thing, but seriously. And your answer will be very quick. You know, listen to what that answer is. And if it's like, no, I feel just dread and tired, you have your answer. If you feel like, yeah, even though it's challenging, even though it makes me a little scared, even though I know I'm going to be vulnerable and seen, yeah, I want to do this. And each of you is going to be experiencing this in a different way. Some of you are like, I don't want that yes anymore. I need to shift. I need to shift into a different yes, and I'm seeing what that is. And this kind of discomfort and this kind of seeing that it does make me uncomfortable is helping you to see that. And some of you are going to be like, yeah, I'm a little uncomfortable, I'm a little nervous, but I want this. And I'm not going to let my old fears hold me back. So there's a complex process going on there. Now, yes, you do have some incubation time because, and I think that it's important you take the time that comes around the solstice to parse through that 2 of Pentacles, 7 of Swords, uncertainty energy. That's where the Hermit and the 4 of Cups is really important, and it's giving me a nod to the fact that you are not supposed to be rushing to conclusions, right? These are very slow, patient energies that take a breath, right? These are meditative energies where you take a deep breath and you go internal and you listen. You just listen. This is deeper, older wisdom. This is wisdom of the ancients in many ways. The hermit, a lot of times when he comes up, it's like, this is when you call a grandparent up or an older friend who has that wisdom to impart. But it's also within you, that deeper ancient wisdom is within you, and there's that knowing, right? The other thing that I'm noticing here with this is I think you had a master plan once again for the first part of this year. And, our little master plans don't really ever, they can't quite match the brilliance of what goes on in the much larger mechanism of the world and the energy field that we're working with. And so it always comes in a little bit different packaging than we think. And part of what you're being asked to is to release some control in how you think this is supposed to come. Your answers, your clarity, your open doors may look different than what you wanted them to be when you were concocting it with your vision board or what have you before. And part of what this integrative process right here is to sit with that and understand that. Now, if you're willing to hear that out, to hear that process out, the abundance and the answers and the clarity and the safety and the love are all there. Page of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, this is powerful energy. Page of Swords brings answers. Page of Swords for sure will clear the cobwebs from something that maybe becomes muddled in your internal investigation, in your slowdown and looking in where you're feeling resistance, where you're feeling fear, where you're feeling nervous to be vulnerable, where you're feeling nervous to be seen or show up. Page of Swords comes in and says, here you go. And so there's a whole revolution going on here. You start the month with a page and this clarity and this commitment and this strong energy. You spend the middle part of the month really investigating what that means for you, and you come out at the end of the month with the answer you want and the well-being you want. Now, the Queen of Swords is kind of a last card that I wanted to pull, and I do want to mention with her. She's really powerful medicine, right? But the medicine she gives is that self-worth energy. It's very quiet. It's not performative. It's not externalized. This is how you treat and talk to yourself all the time, all day, in every moment. And how you treat your creative process, how you give birth to what you want to be and who you are. So it's a reminder to be gentle with yourselves. It's a reminder to listen to your inner mother and your inner ancient wisdom, right? No matter what the institution is or the form that you are maybe contending with or figuring out what you want that to look like, whether it be a committed relationship, a new job, a new official recognition of who you are. Whatever that is, it won't matter if you don't have your self-mothering, nurturing energy and your ancient wisdom energy speaking with you and leading you through that. You need these two in order to live a life that feels good and not just scary and confusing. So check in with them. I have a little toast that I want to do for this solstice, for this midpoint in the year, for this oppositional energy that Capricorns are working with right now. This is a toast to you in the solstice ritual, in the shift, in the recalibration, and here we go. May healing and energy meet you every day with more vibrancy. May the sun rise on you and wake you with joy and hope for what the future holds. May beautiful dreams descend upon you as you sleep. Yeah, trusting that inner wisdom, trusting those beautiful dreams, trusting your soft heart. Let the process break your heart open so that you can trust in yourself that much more, because you already know what this answer is. You've known for a while. I am so glad you're here. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps me out. You can find me on Instagram at SarahVerba, and you can also find me on my website, my email. All of that info is in the description box. If you're interested in working with me in the future, or you're curious about what my sessions, one-on-one sessions entail, it's a great way to get in touch with me. You can still find the magical mid-year intuitive guides for the next few months. They are on Vimeo, ready to download today. So go check those out if you haven't already. I know many of you have. Thank you so much. I think they're really helpful and very healing and very gentle. So highly recommend those. I'm also wearing PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry. I've got this amethyst and onyx purple majesty crown on, and there's only one of these babies. I'm wearing it right now, but it is up for sale. So she's going to be making some crowns. I've gotten a sneak peek of what is coming. It's pretty amazing, but if you're looking for something like this, highly recommend. Handmade by one woman. I will see you guys in July for more of this oppositional energy, more of this journey on waking up and healing and feeling excited about what's next. There's a lot of really big excitement with you guys this month, and I'm excited to see it unfold and play out. I love you so very much, and I will see you for more Moon Magics and July readings very soon.